And I did add a that 160 compressor as you guys saw as well. But it's a very light compression. It's 2.1 ratio and very high threshold as well. So and when I'm using these ones with the tweeters, those are a mic with two mics at once. So it'll have a D20, a RE20 basically, a electro voice RE20, and a SM57 miking the tweeter. So it'll have two mics on it. That's what you're hearing now on the Aguilar. But then the room mic is just a separate, is a RE, it's pretty much the RE20, about a foot back, to incorporate a lot more of the room sound. So, as you can see, just switching the IR by itself is going to change a lot with that particular signal path. Because all I did was on the left side have the IR running from the amp, from the signal from the amp running to the IR, and the other side I just had the signal running into an actual cabinet and mic'd it up. So, and those are two separate lines I'm running, so those will always be separate. They can mix them, you know, all they want. I can also add a third cabinet if I just run an XLR out of the SGT. Run an extra XLR cable out of there, and then I can use the IRs in there as well, and I can literally have three cabinets running simultaneously, as well as my dry signal, and that's just with four, and I can have effects going to um, different ways as well. I can have them going out to the amp or coming, what I'm saying, back into the return, or I can have. It's just so many options. Each one of those signal paths allows you to have different options. I can have this that straight line from the send from the Zoom B6. I could literally have that running into a B3 and have additional effects, processing stuff, I might want to do, on there. And maybe if I get one of the new, I always wanted a MS-70 CDR. So now that they came out with the Plus, the new gen, I might get one of those. And run that after the Zoom B6 on that particular channel. You know what I'm saying? And that way whenever I record, I actually laying down 4 tracks at once. And that way I'm actually getting 4 different sound textures I can play with. Or the sound engineer can play with. It makes it a lot better, a lot easier. Um, and, you know, they'll love it. They'll love it, trust me, because then they got a ton of flexibility. They have, in addition to everything they have at their disposal, they have 4 different cabinets that you've already kind of ran it through. You got a real one, you got 2 IRs, and you still have your DI out, pretty much your dry signal there. So, you know, this is a great way if you're running, you know, at a bigger venue. If sometimes it can get tricky if you're at a smaller venue trying to run 4 lines for just bass. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, man, what you think you a keyboard player? You know what I'm saying? They gonna look at a lot of smaller venues, but normally, I mean, decent sized venues, you should be able to run it because keyboard players they get to run 2 boards, man, 2, 3, 4 boards. They can deal with 4 bass signals if you wanted them to, or you can choose any of those options and go with it or go without it. It adds additional flexibility and separate signal paths, like physical separate signal paths that you can have recorded separately, or you can be, they can be mixing live separately, or whatever application you might need this for. You might just want to try out different sounds quickly at home, so you might set up your at-home setup like this. So just a quick recap of everything, okay? Just a quick recap of how this is set up. So I'm running from my bass to the SGT. SGT is a key component of this because it's flexibility and routing as well. So you kind of need a SGT and a Zoom B6 to pull this off, or something that has similar flexible routing as the Ampeg SGT does. So, first signal path, SGT to the Hartke to the return of the Zoom B6, right? And then that's going into the IR and into the compressor at the moment. So that's one signal path. Signal path 2, SGT to Spectracomp into the Zoom B6 input. And then that's going out through the send to the board. That's number 2. Number 3, is the SGT Spectracomp into the Zoom B6, and then running through these effects here, and then running through the IR and the compressor. And actually, it's 4 lines. It's 4 lines. Yeah, and because it's 3 lines, it's 3 lines, but it's 4 sounds. So the last line is 2 different sounds. So this last one is 2 different. The first one. Let me see how I do this. I'm gonna do this over again, just because I don't want to confuse y'all. So first line SGT Hartke into the return of the Zoom B6, which is coming back here, and then that runs through the IR, right? That's one. This same line can also run the effects. You run the dry through the send through the effects into the IR and compressor. That's all on one channel, but that's 2 different sounds, right? So second second line, and that's coming out of the XLR out of the Zoom B6. Then you have the SGT to the Spectracomp to the Zoom B6 input, and then that's running out to the send directly to the board. So that's the second line. So first line, you pretty much can mix the effects and the Hartke preamp sound together. Second line, you can mix is pretty much the preamp sound with the compressor. Then the third line is the SGT to the Hartke T600 tube preamp, running the send out of there to where we running that to? No, yeah. So we already ran the send. So yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, it's the SGT, the Hartke to the bass amp, and that's mic'd up. So I know that's mad complicated, but it's four sounds in coming through 3 lines. So the first line has the Hartke preamp and the effects that you can mix through the return. Then the second line has the SGT Spectracomp pretty much into the Zoom B6 and running straight into the board. Just those sounds, no effects, no none of that. Then the last one is the Hartke SGT to the Hartke running into the Fender 115 Bassman Neo, which is mic'd up with a CAD D10. I know this is mad complicated. I know it's mad complicated to explain and just hear, but if you can pretty much grasp that concept, it's one of the benefits of having a video. You can watch it over and over again. And I prefer you watch it over and over again. And I'm sorry I messed that up, guys, but I'm not editing that out. But it pretty much, you pretty much have 3 lines with 4 different sounds that you can mix on there. And it's just one of those lines, the XLR out, you can't really change. Once it's recorded, if you record it or something, you can't really change. They won't have independent control of things. But they'll still have your dry signal and the signal from the mic on the bass cabinet. So that gives them a ton of flexibility, and they'll love you for it. And you won't have nobody fussing at you. And that's only one amp, a preamp, the SGT, a compressor, and the Zoom B6. So, it's not even a ton of gear to carry, you know what I'm saying? You're really talking about 3 pedals and a bass amp, and you having all that flexibility. That's a lot of flexibility for that. I know I got a lot more than 3 pedals on the screen, but it's really just, in terms of pedals, it's only the SGT Spectracomp and the Zoom B6. That's all the pedals. The rest of it is just how I'm routing them, and you're going to need a lot of cables. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. You're gonna need about 6 cables, 5, 6 cables. It's about 5, 6 cables set up. Yeah, it's even more expensive than the 4 cable method, but you know, we going up. You know, once you learn the 4, you can grasp this concept pretty easily. You know, like I said, I'm just I got one signal routed through the preamp out, and I got one of the SGT, and I got one routed through the line out or slash headphone out of the SGT. So you know, we got options here, and that gives you way more options as well. So make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share, man. I need you guys. You guys been doing a great job of helping me out here, man. Like I've been having a few guys reach out, and you guys definitely have been very useful and helpful. Um, you know, I'm definitely appreciate the love, man, and the support. I definitely do, and you know, we're gonna take this journey, this YouTube journey together. You know, I'm gonna do my best to try to just bring you new content and just keep thinking of creative things, and not just generic things like you know how to play bass better. Let them, you know. You know, we're gonna try to actually get some actual topics, some actual things that are useful that you'll learn from, not just me just keeping you on my channel, but some things that'll actually benefit you, like this, where you know, who else is teaching you this? Nobody else giving you this method. This is a secret right here. You gotta subscribe and send me a cash app or a super for this. You know what I'm saying? $1 or $2. You know what I'm saying? A day over here. You know what I'm saying? About to start a commercial and get you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, but cause I appreciate y'all just watching. To be honest, like I appreciate the love and the support. You guys do. You know, just do me a favor, hit that like button a lot more, and at least comment and you know get the conversation going about what you need and what you know. If you notice, if you look in the comment sections of my videos, I definitely try to you know. I try to communicate with my fans and people that support me, my supporters, you know, fans, whatever you want to call them. You guys are the reason why I do this. If I don't have nobody to watch the videos, I ain't gonna do no videos. What's the point? So I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with me. This has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Nagus. Um, you know, find me on all social media under the Bass Nagus, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.